This is Pod Populi.
Podcast for the people.
The Great Love Debate. It's the Great Love Debate.
The Great Love Debate. It's the Great Love Debate.
Hi again, everyone. It's Brian Howie. Welcome to the Great Love Debate, the world's #1 dating and relationship podcast. Since 2015, I am back in the very fine studios of Pod Populi, podcast for the people. I am at the one in Boca Raton. It's very, very nice in Boca Raton at this time of year. And what is this time of year? This is the time of year. I've been teasing this for a long, long time, many, many weeks. I kept kicking it back. I wanted to make sure we were ready. I'm ready. People ask me, what is your favorite podcast episode? What is it to do? My favorite episode of the year is always the top 10 worst cities in America in which to find love. And mostly because I get to be super snarky, and also because it generates a ton of buzz. Like, people all over the world share that. It goes viral. About our 10 best cities never get nearly that much attention because people don't want to believe they live in a good city. They want to believe they live in a bad city, because then if they live in a bad city, the reason is the city sucks and not you. I've got news for you. It's you. It's always you. You live there. You're part of the problem. So my second favorite episode of the year, every year, and this is our 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 9th year of doing this, and we do this every year. It is our annual holiday year-end mailbag. And this is the chance, and we got, 1,200 communications via our Facebook page or via Instagram or via email with questions, comments, letters, thoughts that have to do with the year that's gone by, the end of the year, and possibly the year in the future. And why do I like this so much? Because they tend to be things that lots of us deal with. So we don't necessarily pick the craziest questions, and some of you are fucking crazy. Some of you, apologies to the woman with the Santa fetish. That's a different show. I don't really need to get into it, that she's just turned on by Santa. A lot of you are like, oh, you should have read that letter. I don't have anything to say about it. Like, your personal preferences with Santa and whatever it does for you, have at it, Move to the North Pole. I don't know. We're not doing that one. But as a year-end treat, I wanted to share these letters and our answers with the audience. And as a year-end treat, a crew of a lot of very talented and very dedicated people put this podcast together every week. All I do is talk. I do not edit it. I do not distribute it. I don't do social media on it. I don't do much of anything anymore. So I wanted to have two people who are not only voices of wisdom, they produce this podcast. And I wanted them to have a chance to have at it with you guys. They were each on it once before. You may or may not remember them. I have Ben.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And I have Ariana.
Hello.
And they both do a very good job of recording it, although Ariana brought in her raspy voice. You want to try that again?
I know. Yeah, sorry. Hello. Happy to be here yet again.
That was weird. She didn't sound that happy. I don't know what Ariana's
like
been doing. So I have Ariana and Ben. They have listened to a lot of my shows. They have listened to a lot of guests on the show. So they have been secretly percolating their opinions on things. And so they are going to help me answer it, and they may not agree with me. They may not agree with each other, and they may not give the questioner the answer they are looking for. But hey, that's the Great Love Debate. All opinions are equal. All right. So we've got 6 of them, and we dove it into 3 from the dudes and 3 from the ladies. We want to be fair here. Yes. And we're going to kick it off. This is from Davis, Davis, from Alpharetta, Georgia. Okay. I hope that I get this in on time because time is of the essence. I have been out with this girl maybe 3 times, hopefully more by the time you get this. And she is awesome and the kind of person my family would love to see me dating. And I want to ask her to come home to New Jersey. We're both in Atlanta, because I think she will like me even better if she meets everyone. But my friend said that's way too soon and puts her in an awkward spot to accept or decline. Her parents live in London, so I don't think she has any plans otherwise. Thoughts? Hurry. So my first thought is, are you using her to impress your family to show that you have your shit together down in Atlanta? If that's the case, that's fucked up and that's not fair. If you are legitimately proud to be dating her, I'm not sure it's too soon. I mean, that's pretty. I was invited on a first date Christmas dinner at somebody's house, and it was awesome. I liked the family a lot. It was a big Italian family, coincidentally in New Jersey. I liked them all. They treated me well. It didn't really work out with her, but she was like, we're very welcoming. I think she almost looked at it like, it's one of the neighbors. Or like, it was almost like shelter dog. She took me and like felt sorry for me because I had everything to do. It didn't really help the relationship, but I didn't think it was weird that she brought me. That was different because I was in New York City. We went on to Jersey. It was a train ride. This is, would you like to get on a plane to meet my family?
Right.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Want to go first?
Well, I think it might be a little too soon because it's only 3 dates in, but...
Let's just say it's 5 by now.
Okay. But if her family is in London and she doesn't have any other plans, then maybe you can kind of drop it in like a nonchalant way and say, hey, I mean, I don't know if you have plans for Christmas, but if you want to come with me and my family, then, you're invited.
I think you're right on that. I think that's probably close. I think a hair off would be like, hey, I would love to see you.
Yeah.
I'm going to be gone for like 5 days. I'm really having a good time hanging out with you. This is what I'm doing, and I would love to have you there, and make the family part of it like secondary. He's making it a little bit too primary of his motivation.
I agree. Yeah.
I think you can't say that to her. Like, I want to take you home to meet my family.
Yeah.
I think in this order, here's what I'm doing. I want to be doing stuff with you during this holiday season. I really like spending time with you. If you don't mind, my family can be a bit much. Like, make it downplay that versus you're going to love them.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with that. Because if you have a crazy family, that's going to scare them away right away. They're going to be like,
trust me, nobody's coming home to the Howie house.
Yeah. So that I agree with that though.
My mother would be like, is that the way the girls are wearing their hair these days? Yeah, nothing good could come out of that. But has he ever done this before? Is the family going to make too big a deal? Like, I know like on The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, it's a big part of the show where they have like the meet the family, the hometown date or whatever. When really you've been with these people like 4 days and you don't know them either. And it's always such a test. I think it depends on your family. I am worried about the way you're phrasing it because I think it reflects the way you're looking at it.
And it could scare her. Like, hey, I want you to meet my family 3 dates in. It's like, whoa, we just took a huge step.
Yeah. And
but what you were saying, I liked it, where you were like, oh, and hey, my family might be there.
What about the idea that he may think he has this awesome, fun family, and that's going to help her like him better?
Yeah, that's kind of what he made it seem like.
Is that okay?
I mean,
you got to use whatever you have.
Right,
if I'm like, I have these fun friends, I think it helps. Like, I've not dated people because her friends were terrible or her family's terrible.
Right.
And so if it's good time and we can have a good time in Jersey, and sometimes that's part of the adventure of let's go. I think he has to downplay the family aspect of it and been like, unless he thinks they're going to be terrible, which it doesn't sound like it. And then been like, we're really having a good time with you. It's been 3 dates, hopefully 5 or 6 by now. You are dating, I think. If you're not doing anything, I don't know what your plans are, which you should know by now. You're not going to London. It's a much bigger deal for her to invite him to London.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
think.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a 2-hour plane ride from Hartsfield to Newark. So I think it's fine that he asked her, but he's got to be very careful about how and just make it about, let's keep this going. This is fun. It happens to be the holidays. I don't want to take 10 days off from you.
Yeah. It's
Right?
all about the delivery.
I agree.
It's all about the delivery.
It is.
So if you need me to write that out for you, Davis, I will email you that. But if you screw it up, I'll be really, really mad. So this is not terrible. And this does come up a lot. Had it happen to me. If you had it happen to you where you were dating somebody like 2 days before Thanksgiving and you're like, what do I do?
No.
Well, that's the advantage of being young. You haven't dealt with these situations yet. You're going to get to that. You're going to remember this email when this happens to you. All right, next. This is from Jeanette. Jeanette outside of Chicago. I do not celebrate any holidays. I think they are dumb. They are excuses for people to do things and say things they wouldn't normally say and wouldn't normally do. I don't need Mariah Carey. I don't need decorations. I don't need a kiss at New Year's. I think every day of the year should be equally special and should be treated as such. I think that's why people are so miserable in January and February, because they can't sustain the festive pace. The issue is guys look at me like I'm not fun. I'm very fun. I'm just not silly. And holidays are silly.
Wow.
Wow.
See, I think silly is important. I think silly is an important part of a relationship. I think silly is an important part of personality. You need to have a little silly in you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Silly is flirty and flirty is fun and all of that is romantic. Again, I know, so I had to analyze this, why there's what I call Christmas creep. And not that Santa's the Christmas creep. That's a different show too. I had to be like, why have things started earlier with holiday decorations and all that? Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Do you have a problem with that?
I love it. I love Christmas.
You love Christmas, but now Christmas is like getting hinted at the end of August.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Here's the reason for this. Here's the reason why. You know what the first sign of the holidays is, I believe?
What?
Like, sort of like the groundhog comes out. It's the first sign of winter. You know what the first sign of the holidays is? The pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, yeah.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
And here's why I believe Starbucks is moved up the pumpkin. I'm not in their corporate meetings. Summer is over. People get sad that summer's over, and they don't have anything to look forward to until the holidays. There's this gray area of September or October, which should be awesome. September or October anywhere is the nicest time of year. Fall is great.
Yeah.
Fall is very underrated. But for some reason, people are kind of lost. It's back to reality of work and school and all that kind of stuff. And the quicker that people can taste that pumpkin spice latte, the quicker it feels like Halloween. Halloween means Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving means Christmas.
Yeah, that's so true.
That is
Never
the
thought about it
first
like that.
domino of it mentally. So, Jeanette, if you don't like any of those things, are you saying you don't like 4th of July fireworks, which I do not like either, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day? I mean, there's holidays every time of the year other than August.
I took it as more so she thinks that every day should be appreciated, but she doesn't realize that not everybody can do that. So like, I feel like family times and all these, the holidays also is an opportunity for everybody to say, hey, we can get together as a group, as a family in a sense. But
I think you're right. I think that collectively, societally, we need a bit of a timeout
yeah,
in life, work, school, and whatever. I think holidays sort of are about that as much as anything else. Like, I need a fucking break. And it used to drive me nuts in Los Angeles and working in show business, because the show business break was 6 weeks. So it was like 6 weeks where nothing could happen. Whatever project you're working on just wouldn't happen until the middle of January. And I'm like, my life is on hold for 6 weeks because nobody wants to work. But I get it. A lot of the world celebrates it that way too. So you don't have to do the eggnog and you don't have to go caroling. You don't have to do anything, but you have to accept the mood. And generally people are in a better mood this time of year. And you need to take advantage of that.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, you like Christmas.
I love Christmas.
And what do you
yes.
love
I
about it? You're a
everything about
Florida girl.
Yeah, I know. I want to move up north. So I can
Christmas
experience
here
the
is,
cold.
it's still to this day, I can't get over it. It's so, I can't see, I'm going on the beach on Christmas.
See, I like
Yeah.
that. I like
It's
find.
crazy.
I lived in Santa Monica for a long time, and somebody would put a Christmas tree in the sand, and I thought it was awesome. Yeah. I liked it. The best place, a shopping center called the Grove in LA, which most people are familiar with. There's no Christmasier place than that. It's
Really?
awesome. Washington, D.C. is a really good Christmas.
Yes,
place.
it
New York,
is.
obviously. Is great.
Washington,
There's some
DC.
places and there's a feel of it. I think people, and I'm as jaded and grumpy as anybody, but I get it. I'm not somebody who's going to be like, that's stupid or whatever. I get it. And people do like it. And,
Yeah.
you don't have to take it to an extreme, but silly's good.
Silly is great.
Silly's
Brian,
great.
do you like Christmas music? Like when they start playing it in Marshalls on Thanksgiving Day? Like,
I'm fine with it. I don't like that there's some such bad ones that stick around in the canon of Christmas songs, like the Paul McCartney song. Like, why do we have to hear that? Wonderful Christmas Time, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Get rid of it. Like, delete. Like, it's 40 years old. Like, there are other songs.
Right.
It's weird that we're sticking with some duds. That's mostly my problem with it.
on the first day of Christmas.
Yeah, that's
like,
fine. And some of them are fucking weird too. The mommy kissing Santa Claus is fucking weird. But I don't mind it. I think it does make more people happy. And if you're in the minority on something that makes a lot of people happy, which I am a lot in my life, you're just going to have to roll with it. But my point is, I'm not silly. You can't say you're fun and I'm not silly. You have to be silly to be truly fun.
Exactly.
Agreed.
So Find your silly, Jeanette. That's my advice.
Find you silly.
Right? Okay.
It's out there.
It's out there.
Next one. This is from Jimmy via our Facebook page. Brian, I heard you say once that the perfect gift is something that could only be from you and could only be for her. That sounds great, but what the fuck does that mean? It makes no sense. Please explain. I have said that more than once, clearly, but I'm going to lay it out for you again. Do not get her, and the girl's going to be like, I want that. Don't get her boots. Don't get her a sweater. Get her something that shows that I understand what is absolutely unique about you, that I can only give this gift to you, and that I'm the only one that can give you this gift because we have something special and understanding and all this that I have at a higher level than you. And I'm sure some girls are out there like, fuck it, give me the jewelry. Shut up. That's your weird philosophy. I believe that. I believe that if it's something that like he knows me well, he knows what I need, like, want, that I couldn't buy for myself, that somebody else couldn't buy for me, that whatever, on a level, I just think that's going to get you farther.
Couldn't
Can
agree
you give
more.
an example of what you mean?
Well, there could be a point where one thing a guy should always do with a girl, whether you're looking for jewelry or anything else, you should do what I call a scouting shopping run, where you are walking around places with no time or intent to shop and picking up clues on things that she says she likes or wants and why. Okay? So if she's like, oh my God, I read about this place in Barbados that or whatever, you're going to remember back in July that she mentioned Barbados, and then you're going to do that. So it's not just a trip. It's that you picked up on clues and thoughts and things about you. Something's like, oh my God, my life is so hard. I wish I had this. It's more than just a massage. It's more than a couple's day. It's something that requires thought. So
You're listening.
I'll give you an example. This is actually something that didn't work out. It was a good gift. So I had this girlfriend once, and I noticed that the only day of the year she was truly happy, oddly, which says a lot about me, was her birthday. Okay? She was really happy on her birthday. It was a celebration of her. So I'm like, because I know that, how can I make every day feel a little bit like her birthday? So I got a Crown Royal bag, a little velvety bag of Crown Royal. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. The liquor.
How do you know the liquor? How old are you?
I'm 21.
Crown Royal.
Barely.
Okay, so you get the velvety bag, and I wrote on 365 little pieces of paper, 365 different gifts. And so some of it was like an iPad, and some of it was like, we're going to take a walk on the beach, and some of it was like, I'm going to cook you dinner. There were little things, there were big things, but there were 365 gifts, which is no picnic to begin with, okay? And the reason I gave that to her is I'm like, every day you're going to pick one out. So every day you're going to feel a little bit like your birthday. Good gift on the surface, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense that I understood her, right?
Right.
5 days in, she's like, oh, movie night? Like looking in the bag, like where's the new car? Like, because some certain things were different than others. It led to her being disappointed more than happy.
Yeah. She was
So my intent of a really good gift backfired, but that told me a lot about her. But that was what I was thinking of, like, I want to make every day your birthday in some way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a
that's
really
the-
sweet idea.
I know I wasted it. Right.
Yeah, I did.
So now anybody's going to be like, I heard you talk about the podcast. You can never do that again. I wasted just to come up with 365 different things that she would like was just a miracle of imagination by me.
Oh, I can
It was literally like a week and a half in, and she's like, oh, I needed some gloves. Where's that?
Yeah, but I said that you don't want to be in a relationship with that person.
Correct,
though, because
but it took away for me to know. It was like, shit. But the thinking of that was, how do I understand
Exactly,
something?
yeah.
And so I still didn't quite understand her enough, and that said a lot about that. But that could only be for me because I understood this so well, and could only be for her.
I also feel like when with girls or women, if you listen to
Can we say girls? Are you offended by that?
No, not at all.
women, girls,
It's a great love debate. We say girls here.
girls. Something that I've noticed is if you pick up on little details, like they're talking about something, oh, my dog loves like this toy or something, and it's a specific toy, and it's something so minute that they would never think that you would remember that or something like that. And then you say, "Oh, hey, I saw this toy. I know your dog loved," and they're like, "Oh my God, that has worked out for me in a lot of times." Like where they're like, "I didn't even think you were listening to me when I was telling you that."
Always listen, always pay attention. Sometimes she just needs a break from her job, her kids, her life, and you are like, "This is what I think you need more than a sweater. I'm going to give you a break in a imaginative way."
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we're going to take a break in an imaginative way. I got to pay the bills around here. I'm here with Ben and Ariana, and we are taking on the 2022 listener letters, and we will be back right after this. And we are back. Like I said before the break, this is the 2002 year-end listener letters. So if you're listening to this in 2024, catch up. There's probably about 500 episodes that you got to catch up on, and then you circle back to this one. Oh, how things have changed in 2024. What are they talking about? Christmas? That doesn't exist anymore. Who knows? All right, next one. Is this the year-end mailbag? I hope you include me. This year sucked. It flat out sucked. Laid off, dumped, dog died, sick, miserable. I checked all the boxes. 2022 wasn't great either. Why should I be hopeful about 2023? Brian, you yourself admitted that you were super hopeful about 2022, and I feel like you have lost a bit of that hope. Well, I have lost all of it. Help, help, help. Hopeless in Seattle. That's who that's from. I hope you're really from Seattle, or that was just a clever thing. You're right on that. I was a lot more hopeful at the beginning of this year because I thought some of the shit and anger and angst and weirdness and COVID tests and everything were behind us. I don't apologize for the hope because I think hope is always a good thing. But if you're looking at it like that, like hope is tomorrow. Hope is like what's around the block. Like hope is like you have it. You just don't question to recognize it. Like every moment, every day, every tomorrow, every situation could just change your life for the better or the worse. So you can't just keep like, I just have a losing hand. And it's like, I would look at it like 2000, you're due. Your luck's going to turn around.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you've lost all those.
Blackjack. Eventually your cards are going to turn around, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
You know, what do you do? That's easy to say, but people are like, it's just one thing after another. I can't see out of the abyss.
Yeah. Well, I think it's all about mindset. I think if you like keep telling yourself that all these negative things are happening to me, then you're just going to never really experience anything good, anything positive. And you just have to shift your mindset and just...
She needs to find her silly.
Yeah, find your silly.
Or find someone to talk to. Get someone to... I know your dog just died, and that's, definitely a very hard thing to get over. I've had that experience. But, I know this might be too soon, but opportunity for a puppy, opportunity to get out there and bring someone else to help you through this.
Right, there really is. And the key word that Ariana just said is happened. That was a past tense. These things are behind you. And the thing about New Year's and resolutions and fresh starts and all that kind of thing, you really are in control of that, turning the page. Like January 1, January 2, you get an extra day this year because January 2 is the holiday because it falls on a Sunday. Just move forward and look at it like 2022 sucked. Yeah. 2021 sucked. Yeah. Well, the good thing about that is it sucked for lots of people. Mm-hmm. So the misery loves company. It does in this situation. Eventually, hopefully it's going to turn some things around. Every day is an opportunity, a fresh start. And maybe that's a little too
cliche,
a little too cliche, a little too woo-woo for you or whatever, but you got to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Like I look at like every time you leave the house, you have the opportunity for magic. Mm-hmm. I've always believed that. When I, single days or whatever, I'm like, I'm going to fight over parking space with somebody and we're going to get married. Like I really thought that. I'm like, every time I leave the house, there's an opportunity for a rom-com to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I live my life.
You have to live your life like that. And there's a lot of shit in rom-coms. So you're only in the first act here.
I know.
They're hopeless in Seattle. Like it's going to turn around.
That gives me hope.
Yeah, you're just the first 30 minutes of the rom-com.
Exactly.
And if you live your life like that, I just think that's a better way. The imaginary snow globe, I think eventually you just got to keep moving forward and eventually you're going to turn a corner and it's going to be better.
Insane. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Keep your chin up. But if you are legitimately in Seattle, get out of Seattle because I got to tell you, I mean, honestly, from October to March, it is fucking gloomy and rainy and the sun doesn't shine. That does not help. Take
Come
a trip.
to Florida.
Come to Florida. Like, go somewhere it's sunny, take a trip, get out of there. Like, you have to change your environment. If all of these things happened within 10 miles of your house, go 500 miles from your house. Like, get out of there. You have to change your environment to change your outcome. I do believe that. So if you're legitimately in Seattle and not just being punny about it, get out.
Yeah.
At least for 2 weeks. Go see the sun, because it's really, really hard. There's some places on the planet that have...
I like that.
Yeah. The answers always lie outside of your comfort zone. There's some places on Earth that 23, 24-hour days of this time of year, they are dark.
Yeah.
I was just on a trip overseas, and I was trying to stay on East Coast time, which is weird. I wanted to stay on East Coast time. My watch is on West Coast time, for work or whatever. I'm all over the place. But I wanted to stay on that because I thought it would normalize like my work. But so I was up in the middle of the night all night. It is a dead, quiet, miserable existence. Sorry, people who had to work the night shift. It really fucks with your mindset. Darkness. Find the light. Come to the Sunshine State.
Come to the Sunshine State.
There you go. All right. Oh, this is a good one.
Oh boy. These are all good ones.
Last year or the year before, I can't think of which, you had a question from a guy who wanted to go to Christmas parties wearing a hat with mistletoe dangling from the front in an attempt to get some cheap and easy makeouts at Christmas parties. The guests on your podcast thought it was a bad idea. Brian, I think you thought it was a good idea. Well, I tried it, and I'm a girl. And I tried it on everyone, guys, girls, whatever. Bottom line is this. The ones who wanted to be kissed thought it was a good idea, and the ones who didn't swatted away my mistletoe. The ones who didn't aren't ones I want who were going to kiss me anyway, so shouldn't we only be making decisions to root out the ones who are up for me and this? Isn't that the correct thinking? That's from Kissing Bandit in Raleigh. So we did have that kind of letter a couple of years ago, and the women on the podcast were like, no, gross, perv. This is a girl doing it. Sometimes people need a little bit... Are you familiar with mistletoe?
Yes. I'm familiar with mistletoe.
I don't know if people still have it, because you can't just kiss people anymore, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, you can. Just
It's
depends.
ballsy, right?
It is ballsy.
It is ballsy.
But it's always been ballsy.
The ones who like it will like it, and the ones who won't, you don't want to date them anyway. That's the way I look at it. So this is a way to root out the ones you like.
Yeah.
I think it's a simple thing.
Personally, if
Yeah.
a man approached me and he had mistletoe dangling from his head, I'd be like, you need to get a life. Like, what?
But if he was cute, you'd be like, you need to step up.
I would still think he's weird, though.
Is he weird or is he silly?
Yeah, that's silly. No, that's
That is silly.
100% silly.
Or is he
agree.
imaginative?
Very
Is he
silly.
creative? Now, some would look at it like, oh, I don't want somebody kissing everybody, but hey,
Yeah.
that's The Bachelor. What do you want me to tell you? But
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's like, it's festive and it's fun. She or he is more likely, if they control themselves, but they are wearing the mistletoe hat, to get somebody to come over and say, does that thing work? And have somebody approach them, then I think they are just randomly spin the bottle in the room.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, okay.
But
Gotcha.
I think it's I think people will be like, what's that for? You later.
Oh,
But
Right.
do you think it
and
would
if
be?
they don't like that, that's probably not the girl anyway.
that's true.
Do you think that it would be different from a guy to a girl?
Well, that's why this was a spin on it. The one a couple
Yeah.
years ago was a girl. This is a girl. She's kissing girls. She's kissing guys. I don't know. She sounds fucking fun. Who wouldn't want her? Who wouldn't want
girl is
100.
silly.
Yeah.
party in Raleigh? Like, that sounds fun. It sounds, and so many people have been so uptight and repressed and sad, and go to Seattle with your mistletoe. I guarantee it's gonna like. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a fun thing. Don't get pervy with anybody. Don't clearly pick up on signals or whatever. Like, don't just go grabbing people by the hair and making out with them. But, everything's mixed signals, so it's tough to read sometimes. I think that people are going to react positively to anything that seems positive. That's better than an ugly sweater. I don't think an ugly sweater is getting you a makeout. I think the mistletoe
Definitely
is.
not.
Mistletoe and eggnog goes a long, long way.
Well, unless some of those ugly sweaters, they have like the twister. You can spin the twister, and it's like,
Do they?
Where are you gonna touch? And then it's the arrow pointing down.
Where are you shopping for
No,
these things?
I've seen those. Those are
And I know you have a.
Bet you have that sweater?
No, I don't have that.
Definitely
I want to make that sweater. That's a weird sweater. I like it. I like anything that's imaginative and fun, and which is why people like Halloween. I'm not the biggest put on costumes or whatever, but people turning your imagination on is always a good thing to be around other people, because life and love and romance is usually about imagination. Even when you put 365 gifts in a bag and she doesn't like it, doesn't mean it wasn't right.
Exactly.
Agreed.
All right. This is from Martin via our Facebook page. I've been dating my girlfriend for 3 years, and, well, it's time. I want to propose to her on Christmas because the family will be all around and we can celebrate. I think you guys have said that's a bad idea, but I couldn't remember why. Engagement, family, holiday, celebrate. What is bad about that? Hurry up and answer because this ring is burning a hole in my pocket and it's almost that time and I can't wait.
Oh my God. That's
Okay, so to be clear, you thought it was sweet.
Yeah.
I am very, no, not her birthday, not your birthday, not Christmas, not New Year's, not Valentine's Day for proposals.
Oh,
Okay.
God. Okay.
I think, again, this is a day for you guys. This is a moment for you guys. It's burning a hole in your pocket. Go propose to her right now, okay? Whatever date this is, go do it now. Like, it should be this moment, this time, this occasion is March 31st. This is the day he proposed to me, not Christmas. And the fact that your family's around and whatever, I think engagement is between the two of you. I'm very big on that. It shouldn't be on a scoreboard in front of 50,000 people. This is the most important conversation, which it really is. You ask a question, you hopefully get an answer, that you will ever have in your life with the person that is the most important to you in your life. I think that should be standalone. I think that you should not worry about the trappings of it and what the result and all that kind of. I mean, that's me, and some people are like, who cares? No, it's fun, family. Like, I just think this is such a moment that it should be a random Tuesday versus Valentine's Day.
But if you two are completely family oriented, like it's just like I'm always spending time with my family. We always spend time with your family.
This is about your new family, the two of you. That's what I think. Your family can have their moment. They can call them after or whatever. I just think that this is about a guy and a girl and a life that you're trying to create. I think that's actually more romantic that way. I hate engagement cliches. I hate, and I know I'm unpopular about this, but welcome to the Great Love Debate. I hate engagement staged photos. I hate that you had the photographer there and you posed for it. I don't believe it. I don't want you to post those on Facebook. This moment is about the two of you asking a question in a way that you are fumbling and nervous. You know, and this is coming from me who's never proposed before, but I have worked on a proposal, like a version of it, my whole life. Like I spend like 10 minutes a day on it.
Really?
Because I think it's such an important conversation and I want to say it in a way that's, I want her to be like, so how did he propose? And her friends to feel like, oh my God, my husband fucking sucks. Like, it is such a moment.
Yeah.
I just want to clear everything but that moment. So you could pick a place, you can do it in front of the Eiffel Tower, or you can go somewhere, you can do all that stuff. But it's like, oh, it's Christmas Eve and we're about to open the gifts and here's the ring. I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
But I could be wrong.
I agree with that. I think, like, definitely I would prefer to just be with my fiance when I am getting proposed and not have the crowd. Because then what if you want to say no and you're in front of 50,000 people?
Yeah, that's a different
Yeah.
story. But it's like on her birthday, I'm going to propose. Well, get a birthday present for her and then do it 2 weeks
Couple days
later or
later,
2
yeah.
weeks before. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand the need to combine a bunch of occasions because of convenience, which is sort of what you're getting
Yeah, I was
at
gonna
here.
say. Yeah, you're right. It is
Seems
convenient.
lazy, Martin.
Yeah.
One present for all: Christmas, birthday, and anniversary.
Right. and you're basically like, oh, I can remember when we got engaged.
Yeah.
See, people celebrate their anniversary, which they should, when they got married. I think you should celebrate your engagement. I think you should celebrate when you first met. I think these are moments that like matter. Like everything changed on that day. The wedding is another step on that way. But when he has that moment, he takes time. He's like, this is it. I'm going to ask. And he, generally speaking, 99% of the time, he is asking the girl if she wants to marry him because she's the love of his life and he wants to spend the next 50 years with her. She might say yes for 100 different reasons that are not nearly as romantic as that. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from his point. He may be a good father. This is, I don't want to say no. There's a lot of, the yeses aren't exactly that sincere. But when he's asking, he is all in. Cut away the clutter, cut away the noise, cut away the nonsense. It's you and her and the ring and the question, and you ask it in a way you want to ask it. So if you can't wait and you are so in love with her and you're like, hurry up and we're like, do it today, Martin.
Yeah.
Do it today.
Do it
Martin.
today.
And then announce it. Like, guess what, guys? We
At
got engaged 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, take the glove off, show her hand. Like, you can have all of the trappings and all of the stuff without complicating things, because you're also then involving a lot of moving parts and a lot of minutia and a lot of things that can happen. Like, oh, we can't have dinner because Uncle Lou is coming and it's late. Like, you're not in control of all of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then you made a really good point when you were talking about the pressure, that can, you're pressured to say yes. And even if you're Yeah.
You do it on July 9th.
She's
middle
not
of the day.
expecting anything.
The best part of a good engagement is the shock and the surprise.
Exactly.
Not like, I get it's a nice place to do it in Paris, but if you're like, oh, he's inviting me to Paris, and then your friend's like, you think he's going to propose? Probably is. I want shock, surprise, amazement, yes, but I like silly, but I don't want a whole thing. You can't have it go wrong. And you do, I hate to say this, you do have to give her room to say yes, to say no, or maybe, or not. Like, you can't embarrass her. Yeah. And that's for your own good too. You don't ever want her to say yes because of that.
Yeah.
And I talked to a lot of people who, when they got divorced, because I'm such a romantic, I go, when did you know it wasn't going to last 50 years? I ask that question all the time. I'm shocked at how many people answer when he asked me. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Shocked and saddened.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I didn't want to say no, and I thought it would work out, and then we got married, I thought it would get better, and then we had kids, I thought that would fix things, and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's a real domino.
Yeah.
You have to give her the room to say no.
Yeah.
And
I feel like you get to that point, you're already been speaking about these things with your significant other. I mean, not necessarily about...
You want to pick out the ring? Or do you want him to know you so well that he knows exactly what you would like?
I don't think I'd trust a guy's judgment. I definitely want to be there for it.
So then it's on you to casually mention things. Like date one, you should just slide that napkin across the
Here's a
table.
list of all the rings
This
I
is
really
the
like.
princess cut. This is the size. This is the clarity. This is the color.
Just keep it in your back pocket for, down the road.
Because some people are like, I saw somebody got engaged the other day with some black stone or whatever. And I'm like, that had to have been a conversation.
Yeah.
That's a real risk.
And
Well, you like to wear black a lot. I thought it would match. That's a risk. And I'm not saying it's not for the two. That's a conversation. I think you have to throw enough info. I don't want you to go ring shopping together. I think that's bad. I think you have to get the information.
Does that have like bad juju?
Does it?
I don't know. You said it wasn't good.
I think it takes the surprise and the work from him.
Okay, yeah,
you
that's
need
true.
to know her so well that there's no doubt. No doubt. And there's a chance that she doesn't know herself well enough, and then when she sees it on, she's like, oh, that's not really what I wanted. There's always a risk of that.
Yeah.
I think you need to roam around a lot of malls.
Yeah, I also,
to Jared and then say, listen, I would never buy a ring at Jared. But if I were, let's try some shit on just to see what Jared rings look like. And then you're like, I would only go to Tiffany, or something like that. But no offense, Jared. I know you're sometimes a sponsor here. No offense. But like, just roam around early in the relationship. Early. Like, if you do it first 3 dates, it's ridiculous, it's silly, and it's fun.
Yeah.
That's silly too. Like, let's go try what do you want to do today? Been out 2 times. What do you want to do? You want to go try engagement rings? She'll like it. She'll think it's fun.
Absolutely, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's a store near here. She was on this podcast once. You guys remember we had Anna Zuckerman on? She's the queen of fake jewelry.
Yes. She's funny. She's
funny.
hilarious.
She's great. She has a store near here that has, jewelry that looks like it's $2 million, and it's not, but you can at least find a store like that get an idea of her taste.
Yeah.
I've said on this podcast before, I think bigger is better. I think you want a 10-table ring, which means that people can see it from 10 tables away. I want people to be like, holy fucking shit, look at the size of that thing. That's me. I'm overstated.
But now, do you get to determine that, or what is it for her? Is it her? Like, what is she, like? She's going to be wearing it. So
I don't think she's going to be mad with if there's something the size of a Mercedes on her finger. Like, I think bigger. I think you can't go wrong with that. If she's like, it's uncomfortable to wear, oh well.
We'll get you a smaller one.
Chop it up and put some earrings. And be like, the ring he got me was too big.
Put it in some earrings. There you go.
Cut some pieces off. But
Yeah.
I think bigger is better in a lot of situations. So that's it. That wraps up the 2022 holiday year-end mailbag. These were pretty good. I think that you guys were good. I think we solved some issues and hope, but the one that stands out to me the most is the silly one.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to come back to the give some of the silly to the one who's lost the hope, and if you don't want to use it, give it to somebody else. But silly's good. We're fans of silly around.
Silly is good.
All right, thanks you guys. As far as us, as always, like, share, follow. Please review this podcast. Your reviews mean a lot in the podcasting ecosystem. Shoot us an email, greatlovedebate@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments or answers that you didn't think we gave right, because some of these were responses to old ones, which I like that you guys are still listening or whatever, go to greatlovedebate.com. We will be kicking off our 10th season of our live tour schedule. It's probably actually going to be right here at the Boca Black Box Center for the Arts in Boca Raton. It's probably where I'm doing my first show of the year. Ariana's like, do a show. I want to see a show. So that was my impression of you. Okay? So go to greatlovedebate.com, because as always, at the Great Love Debate, we never stop making love. See you next time.